with 6 points. Manchester City with 4 points. Celtic 1 point. Barcelona and Manchester City, the next 2 games, of course, they'll meet each other, which could define who wins the... We're going to hear from 2 of Celtic's heroes, Moussa Dembele and Scott Sinclair. They're with Daryl Curry.
Moussa, Scott, well played. What was that like to be involved in?
Oh, it was magnificent, you know. You could see the fans were right behind us. The atmosphere was unbelievable, so that spurred us on.
They just kept on pegging you back, though, all night long.
Yeah, that's the thing. They keep on singing all night. And like I said, it keeps us going on our toes, and you know, like we said, we keep going and keep creating chances and going forward.
Moussa, you must have enjoyed that. Goals at the start of each half.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and the most important that we got a point today, and we played well, and we showed that we are a good group, and we fight until the end.
And what about that finish at the start of the second half to put your team ahead again?
Yeah, it was a good finish. You know, the most important is the ball in the back of the net, you know, and that's the most important.
What does this prove about this Celtic team going head to head to the City like this, a team that have not been beaten all season, and you've got a point off them here?
Well, the thing is, we just keep improving. I think game by game. I think we learnt from the Barcelona defeat. We pushed forward, and you know, we took all the negatives out of it, and we performed tonight.
Was it a bit nervy towards the end?
I'd say the last few minutes, you know, we stuck back and you know, we dug deep.
And for you, against your old team, did you feel you had something to prove tonight because you were outstanding?
No, not at all. I think I might go into every game and just game by game, really. Obviously, you know, previously I've been at City, but like I said, I just take it every game by game.
Moussa, how much belief does this give everyone here?
Massive. You know, we need to keep believing, keep producing games like that, and I think we could get something out of this Champions League.
Well played tonight, guys. Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, Moussa seems thrilled with his performance and the occasion, doesn't he? Talk about understated. Terrific. I wanted to ask you that question about the fact that third place for Celtic would be brilliant, wouldn't it, to go into the Europa League, given the nature of this group and the teams that it's thrown up against.
I mean, who really thought Celtic would get a point out of the first 2 games? I mean, what I quite enjoy is all the money down south there is, and it takes Manchester City to come north of the border and Celtic to show a team how to get something against them. Yeah. Celtic can be really proud of their performance. I thought, you know, on the night they went toe to toe, they were brave and deserved everything they got.
And Manchester City, they couldn't complete that record. Tottenham's record of 50 years is safe, 11 consecutive wins at the start of the season. But boy, they tried.
Yeah, they tried, but it was a tough match for them tonight. You know, it was. I think they maybe started the match thinking it was going to be a bit of a stroll in the park, and they were soon shocked into performing. But Celtic never let them settle tonight, you know, and that was a big problem for them. And it was a good result for City in the end, really, because it's a tough place when they play like that.
Well, the one thing that Celtic needed was a strong start, and they really got that, didn't they, Rio, with that early
goal? Yeah, they did. It was a great free kick, a great run round the back there, and a great cross in the end. But you get a bit of fortune, but...
What do you think about a line that high, Rio?
Yeah,
difficult, isn't it, with a modern rule?
Especially if they played the ball out wide. If that came through the middle, you say, oh, the keeper could maybe come, but out wide, then the cross, and it's touch and go there. I think it's good. He's on side, and I think for the game, it was a great start for the game because it meant that obviously Manchester City have to come out then and start playing and open up, and then the game becomes more spread, and it just meant for a real great game in terms of goals and fun, really. So
the one similarity in all the game is every time Celtic scored, Manchester City came straight back at them, starting with the first goal and Fernandinho's effort.
Yeah, they just could never hold on for long enough, and I mean, they're a little bit unfortunate. They come out, and as the strike goes in, I mean, it's not struck cleanly from Kolarov, and Fernandinho reacts really well. Tierney's just playing him onside, see him at the bottom of the screen there. And, you know, Celtic will be disappointed. I mean, you can say Manchester City were a bit lucky with that, but City back in the game because of that.
There it goes, and then we had a spell during in the first half where we got 2 Sterling goals. First one went in his own net, bit unlucky deflection, but some good play from Celtic, Richard.
Yeah, they opened them up really well, and that was a highlight of the first half when Roger got the ball. He could turn in midfield and he created plenty of chances and caused City some trouble. And Tierney done great all night getting forward. He had a tough job against Sterling, but he done really well.
They missed Rogic second half, I thought. You know, he was the one who would take them up the pitch first half on the half turn. He's been brilliant all season, but he always blows up on the hour.
Yeah,
but this is what we said
fitness
before.
issue.
Yeah.
If you lose the ball against good teams, you get punished. And here, at top level football, you lose the ball straight onto the back 4, and with runners like this and end product like that, it was was beautiful to watch.
Sterling is, sensational form.
Yeah,
I mean, there were so many good performances tonight, but his was exhilarating at times.
World-class performance today in terms of distribution, crossing, he put chances on a plate for people, and also scoring goals. But what I like about him is that everyone was questioning, can he improve as a young footballer? A huge talent we all knew. But this season he's showing his education is going on from level to level. It's great to see.
Whatever Guardiola's doing, it's working, isn't it, with Sterling?
Oh, absolutely. Last season, and we talk about Sterling in the Euros, and he's hit the floor running, hasn't he, this season? And I think he's much maligned for his finishing, but there wasn't a lot wrong with that, was there?
It's improving. Just after half-time, we thought, wow, the second half won't be as good as the first. And Bosch, almost just couple of minutes in, Dembele with an extraordinary effort, really.
Yeah, it was the same start to the half that City had in the first half, and it was sloppy by Kolarov. The lack of concentration, I suppose, the start of the half, but he took the goal lovely in the end. Dembele, it was a good control and a nice sliced overhead kick.
That wasn't sliced, that was meant.
He knew exactly what he was doing, didn't he, Chris?
No, but it was a perfect start for the match, really. That's what we wanted, because if City got in front at any stage, you felt they'd go ahead and maybe score a couple more. But it was a great start to the second half.
But once again, City came back. Nolito 3-3.
I mean, it was again. Here we are now. Pressure, getting up the pitch, making sure people make mistakes, and that's what you got to do. Sterling does great here. Nice 1-2. Great ball, great weight from Silva. And Aguero will be disappointed. He's got 3 goals tonight, and Aguero didn't go to score sheet. That's the most surprising thing. But Nolito following in here. And this is just intricate plays. It's good football, this. Through the eye of a needle stuff and following in. Keeper. I think Chris will be disappointed with him, wouldn't he?
That was a good save. It's a bit unlucky. That's where Celtic needed a bit of luck. Sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say, brilliant play, and that was brilliant from Manchester City.
Well, I suppose if Celtic did get a little bit of luck, it was right at the very end when City came strong, didn't they? Almost an injury time, couple of chances.
I'd say good defending in the
brilliant
main.
Play from Sterling,
good
strength.
I mean, he was brilliant on the half turn. We were, in a great position to see this. You thought that was in. I didn't. Well,
he didn't when it struck the stand. No.
This is again Sterling though. Look, no one can get near him. He's that quick. He's so strong. Sense of gravity. I mean, it's a great save. The reactions here because it gets deflected. Great block in the end and a great save. But you need to ride your luck at this time in the game. They've worked so hard. It'd have been really cruel if they'd have lost this. And this is a great header from Toure. It was immense all evening.
Yeah, he was magnificent. He was covering every time the ball went past one of the fullbacks. He was the first one over to cover, and he led really by example, to say that.
It's changing mentality, Brendan Rodgers. This time last season, under Ronnie Dyler, Celtic would have lost that 8-0.
We need to take a little break, a little breather. We need it. Let's hear from the Manchester City manager. Pep Guardiola is with Darryl.
Well, Pep, overall, how do you assess that performance tonight and the point in the end?
Yeah, it was difficult for us to start in the first half, the second half, when one goal against us. And that's why I'm happy for the reaction for the players. Not easy to score 3 goals away. And the second half, the last 20 minutes, we made absolutely everything. So I don't know how many chances they had after the 3 goals. It's a pity because they winning here, you make a good step forward. But we knew that from the beginning. So this group, with this club, with Manchester City, we're going to fight until the last game to qualify for 80 finals.
Do you think you should have won it in the end?
Yeah, definitely.
On the balance of chances, was the disappointment on the other side, the way you started each half and the way you conceded some of the goals?
Yeah, but it's football, it's Europe, the opponents are good here. When you see the last 24 games at home from Celtic, the Glasgow lost just 3. So here teams like Milan, Juventus, Barcelona, United lost here. So I know how difficult it is. That's why the reaction, they play was amazing. Of course, we knew that we started so strong. We knew that the second goal, it was an unlucky situation. But how we play until the end, so I don't remember one action for the Celtic de Glasgow after more than 3 goals. So Claudio didn't stop anyone else. In the last minutes we had a lot of chances. So it's okay, it's 1 point, we didn't lose. And of course the effort for the players was amazing.
You did say ahead of this game, sometimes when you lose a football match, you can improve. I know you got the draw there tonight, but do you think you learnt a lot about your team?
Yeah, always. When we win and lose, always you learn.
Some big games to come now, of course. I'm sure you'll hope to have Kevin De Bruyne back, but Barcelona, your old team, coming next, they could define the group, do you think, those matches?
Yeah, of course. Now we have against maybe the best team. You have to play there, and we're going to see. Now is thinking, make a good resolution, thinking about the next game in White Hart Lane, and after national team and come back, and I think going to have time to think about it.
Many thanks for your time. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not the record, but a couple of stewards. The stewards have been walking around. In fact, there was a brilliant bit earlier where the female steward was just chucking people out of the way for us. She was brilliant. I'm going to find her later and buy her a drink. She was magnificent. Pep's reaction to the thing. He's always very calm and studied, isn't he? And he'll learn from the experiences that he's had here. First visit here.
But I think he was quick to acknowledge that this is a special place to come because big teams and better teams than Man City have come here and lost. And they've got a great record here, but I think he would have learnt a lot today. That defensively they need to sharpen up. Kolarov as a centre half, questionable for me. I think Stones will come back in and play at the weekend, but I think on the positive side for Man City, he will learn that Sterling is growing into a player that they're looking to, that they can play the ball into him, and things are going to happen when the ball's at his feet because he's growing in stature, and I think the responsibility in this team is only going to get bigger. And with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne to come back as well. It's mouth-watering times for Manchester City, I believe.
Do you think Pep took Celtic lightly by not playing Stones?
Not really. I think when you look at it, they got beat 7-0 comfortably at the Nou Camp, and I just think that he thought we've got enough going forward without Zorya. I think he thinks if you score 2, we'll score 3.
He has left out Stones on one or two occasions in the games, hasn't he, as well? So it'd be interesting to see what he's done with someone like Sterling, if he could mould someone like Stones in the same kind of manner and turn him into like a PK. It would be extraordinarily good for English football.
You would imagine that he will over time. You know, you see him during games and he pulls him to the side and has words with him as when the ball is stopped, and he's always teaching him. And I think, like we said, you see it with Sterling, and hopefully in time to come you'll see it with Stones as well.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, one aspect of the game, and we expected a high press from Manchester City, we certainly got one from Celtic, didn't they? Maintained it really well for a long time.
Yeah, brilliant. Their energy was fantastic. Do you know what I'm pleased for, Gary? I'm pleased for Scottish football because it has taken a kicking from down south, and now Celtic are saying we're back. we can mix it with the big boys. We don't
kick Scottish football down south.
Let's get it right. It has been kicked. I live down there. It gets kicked all the time. They were brilliant tonight, and they were brave, and it was about being brave and courageous and pressing, and they knew at times that Manchester City would get in behind them, and they left themselves exposed at times at the back. But I mean, this was just outstanding, and they were organised, and that's what Brendan Rodgers has brought to Celtic, a brilliant response after Barcelona.
I think when doing this, you're right, you're spot on. You need to be brave because you're going to give up chances at times when doing it. You leave yourself a bit open. But at the same time, you need a bit of luck, and they got their bit of luck every now and again because it could have been opened up a couple of times, but they just had that bit of luck that you need at this top edge of the game.
Well, it was a game plan that worked for Brendan Rodgers, and we can hear from him now. He's with Darryl.
Well, Brendan, where do we start with that? In the end, are you happy with a point?
Well, listen, I can't criticise the team. I think there's always elements that we can be better in, but I thought the players were absolutely brilliant. How they pressed the game, the energy. Every time we went forward, we looked like we could score. And this is, you have to sit back and take a look at Manchester City and how they started the season. So to put on that level of performance, and in fairness, apart from the Rangers, the Barcelona game, these players have been operating at a really, really high level. But to do it against a team of that quality, of that level, I thought it was a magnificent performance.
You wanted more aggression. You certainly got that, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's fundamentally how we defend is the idea of which we've been working on in terms of how we press the game. I think all of my teams have always played with that intent, and then obviously that gives you and earns you the right to play. So we've got players that develop and evolving all the time, and you have to be really good tactically in your game and how you press these, or else they can open you up. But I thought tonight, how they played and how they performed was top class, and that'll give them confidence moving forward.
So many great performances tonight individually, but Moussa Dembele's night overall. I know he gave the ball away that led to a goal, but some great finishes, and what a performance overall.
Yeah, no, he was top class. I think you can see the changes they were having to make to try and cope with him. You know, he's a big threat. He's a wonderful young talent, just turned 20 years of age. So he's got a big future ahead of him. And it's nice, like this year, this is why he came here, to play in front of these fanatical supporters, to play in this type of arena, and of course to perform like that. So again, he's got a lot of improvement to make, but yeah, him and collectively I thought the team were outstanding.
Man City have beaten everyone this season apart from you now. How does that feel? And in terms of the group, how important is that? Because Barcelona have won away tonight. Yeah,
it was important. I think we always recognised that our first year in, back in again, it was going to be tough. But to then get drawn against the teams that we've played or been drawn against, that was going to make it even tougher. But we know our home form is going to be important. Tonight is a huge step forward for the team and how they worked. And like as I said, obviously with Barcelona winning over there, it obviously helps us. But the players deserve a huge amount of credit tonight, and how they worked in the game, and the creativity that they showed, the heart. Everything was there for what you'd want out of a great team performance.
It really was a wonderful effort. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, thank you. Thanks.
He's doing a very good job at Celtic. I mean, he had that terrific time at Liverpool, didn't he? Then it kind of went all a bit pear-shaped, but he's bounced back well and started his managerial career here. Well, I know there's been a couple of dodgy results along the way, but you're always going to get that.
Well, comparisons to Martin O'Neill and his era, and they have been made, and you just see the impact which is made, the signings he's made. He's got the recruitment right. We talked about Toure, Sinclair and Dembele, his goals tonight. He brought them to the club. Dembele wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for Brendan Rodgers.
Exactly, £500,000. He's already scored 12 goals, all of them at Celtic. But I mean, that is... It's one of the great bargains, certainly this season or any other season, it looks.
Well, the problem Brendan Rodgers is going to have is how is he on earth is he going to keep him here? Because, I still think he's a little bit raw at times and can improve his movement. But, I mean, you'd have been proud of that one, Gary, wouldn't you?
That's a proper goal, that is, Chris, that one.
You know what he is? He's quite unpredictable. I think that he's, as you said, he's quite raw, but he's willing to take the chances on when they come. He's not scared. He's got a confidence about him. He's got that raw pace that can scare defenders. And he looks like he wants to be a player. He looks like he puts a good shift in when he's up there. He don't just stand there and try and look pretty. He jumps into defence, makes it a tough night for defenders.
Look at him physically as well. And what I like about him is he's not just a target type player. He's one, he will move in behind. He's got a lot of development to make, but he's not unlike, say, a Didier Drogba. I mean, it's a long way to go to become that sort of type, but he's an all-rounder.
Big games in this group coming up. 2 games now, Barcelona and Manchester City. I think over the next few weeks we'll find out a bit more about Guardiola's Manchester City and where exactly they are.
Yeah, I think so. I think in the Premier League as well, they've got a couple of tough games, and then after that they'll start with the 2 Barcelona games. But I think whatever happens with Man City over the next month or so, they're a joy to watch now. Everyone enjoys it. They go and create chances, and they have got that mentality that they'll attack anybody and they'll go and score goals. And the 2 games against Barcelona are just mouth-watering at the moment.
You got to love the way Guardiola's teams play, haven't you?
And I just like the way that he really does implement his ideas on a team straight away. And listen, we all talk about how pretty they are to watch, how great they are goal scoring going forward, but the intensity that he puts in his team defensively to get the ball back in high areas is something that he gets into his team straight away, and that's something to admire.
It's amazing how quickly he's done it.
Just an incredible turnaround. I think what they're doing without the ball and the way they regain possession is the biggest change.
It certainly is. Gentlemen, thanks very much. No British team except Leicester has a 100% winning record. Thought I'd mention that. That's it from us. Highlights are coming next with Lindsay Hipgrave. Well, it's been one of those special European nights that only Celtic Park can deliver. From all of us here, good night.